Communication is a key trait that many of us are expected to have. It has many forms though. Most people are familiar only with verbal communication, in which we use words to convey our message. However, more important is nonverbal communication, in which there are no words but actions or signs that convey the message, and this is known as body language. Body language can be defined as a range of different nonverbal cues that you give when you are communicating. Such cues may include facial expressions, posture, space, movement of limbs, fidgeting, and a lot more. There is an endless list of nonverbal cues, and typically they can give away a lot about a person. Criminal interrogation officers specifically learn the art of recognizing various nonverbal cues to assess whether the suspect is telling the truth or not. Whether you are making a sales pitch, giving a presentation in a meeting, or perhaps talking to an audience on the stage, your body language is a direct reflection of your confidence and who you are. Furthermore, people listen to what you are saying and subconsciously pick up the cues that your body language gives. Nonverbal cues, including facial expressions, posture, gesture, eye contact, and body movement, make up 50% of the communication. Of course, your words make up the remaining part. In this video, we will discuss the importance of having the right body language and the types of nonverbal cues that you may want to work on. The importance of body language. According to several studies, nonverbal cues that are a part of your body language have up to 60% to 90% more influence than your words or text alone. Based on this, one can argue that the way you say things is more important than what you say. This certainly does not mean that you should skip preparation for your next interview or public talk. We absolutely do not encourage shortcuts. Rather, this means that you now have more to focus on your body language. According to experts, the right body language can help you get your message across more efficiently. Let us say you are making a sales pitch. A rather awkward physical stance could harm your credibility, as people will not be able to grasp how great your idea is, even if it is $1 million idea. However, if your body language reflects confidence and belief, people are more likely to feel more invested in the pitch. This example reflects the importance of body language. This also applies to our regular interactions with people, both on a professional and personal level, and on an individual and mass scale. Good body language means a good impression. Let us say that you have an interview scheduled. Many people believe that good body language is nothing but a bonus point that may land you a job. However, that is not entirely true. In workplaces, body language carries immense importance. If you do not have the right body language, you will find yourself engulfed in a difficult environment where you cannot leave an impact. Simply put, your colleagues will not consider your word important and you will not stand out. In other words, good body language is critical to leaving a good impression. And this is the one reason employers often look for people with strong body language on top of strong verbal communication skills. This especially applies to jobs in which one is required to interact with people a lot. If you are having trouble finding the right body language, a good start would be to observe the people around you. Preferably, look at the most influential people and notice how they use their body language when expressing their views. Gives you more confidence. Having strong body language can make you more assertive and give you plenty of self-confidence. In fact, one can say that it goes both ways. Good confidence will also inevitably make your body language stronger, as you will have no reason not to feel nervous anymore. Build better relationships. Poor body language can often lead to misunderstandings and misrepresentations of one's feelings. Sometimes, when we communicate with colleagues, friends, or romantic partners, certain body movements may be considered offensive, and this can eventually ruin the entire impression. For instance, sometimes one must customize the body language according to the other person's mood and emotions. By having strong control over your body language, you can prevent your relationships with people from going south. This way, you will nurture lifelong connections that will help you both professionally and personally. Some tips for a strong body language. Now, let us discuss some tips that you can use to develop strong body language. These tips are quite simple, but will create a huge impact on your life. Reclaim some space. Things like confidence, power, and status can be displayed non-verbally by using your space and height. Make sure that you always have your posture straight, your shoulders straight, and your head high. This will not only improve your self-confidence, but will also give away a strong impression to others. You can take some additional space by moving around, which again adds up to the overall impression. So use this simple tip in your everyday life, and you will automatically notice people giving importance to your word. Similarly, you may have noticed that successful and influential people typically take up more space. For instance, they may have their belongings spread out on a bigger area on the table. Of course, they would subconsciously or consciously do this in a very subtle way. Lower the vocal pitch. People usually associate lower voice pitches with power and masculinity. The same applies to our everyday communication. Deeper voices are naturally more assuring and trustworthy in comparison with high-pitched voices. Typically, high-pitched voices are associated with a lack of empathy and nervousness. This is a nonverbal cue that we sometimes give away to everybody without noticing. However, you can easily learn how to control your voice pitch by visiting a speech therapist. Often, experts recommend simple humming exercises that bring the voice to its maximum pitch. So, make sure that you are using your voice to its maximum potential to make a lasting impression on others. Therefore, you often see that television and radio hosts, leaders, and highly influential people have a deep and strong talking pitch. Maintain eye contact. Yet another important tip is to maintain a good level of eye contact at all times. You might not be an extrovert. Furthermore, you may have a cultural background according to which maintaining eye contact with superiors is rude. However, it is critical to have good eye contact if you want to become more assertive. Mostly, business people from Australia, Europe, and the USA would expect you to maintain eye contact for at least 60% of the time. A simple tip would be to look into a person's eyes while talking with them long enough to figure out the color of their eye. However, do allow yourself short breaks in between to avoid looking like a creep. Use hand gestures. The use of hand gestures is also essential. Did you know? Using hand gestures can also help you in choosing the right words and structuring sentences better while talking. According to experts, the Broca area of the brain is usually active in two cases. First, when we are talking, and second, when we are waving our hands. So, by using hand gestures when you are talking, you will add more power to your thoughts. And because of this, the power will then translate into your words, making your words more impactful. Practice is the key. Well, if you are having trouble developing the right body language, worry not, because we have good news for you. And that is, body language can be learned. Though you may need a bit of practice to mask some of the less favorable nonverbal cues that you subconsciously give away sometimes. For instance, you might find yourself biting your nails without even realizing it. For many people, this is especially true in stressful situations. Similarly, other people may end up repeatedly touching the nose in nervousness. While you may not realize it, such nonverbal cues do not go unnoticed. Ideally, people admire those who maintain their composure in situations that involve a lot of stress and pressure. In fact, this is one of the most favorable qualities to have as a team leader. And that is why people who can control such nonverbal cues end up as successful leaders. Though controlling your body language is not easy and yet not impossible either. Just try to remain conscious about how you are physically reacting to different things. And then, try to switch the action with something more appropriate. It might take a few tries and some conscious effort to go against your instincts. However, by constantly reminding yourself about the cue that you are trying to change, you will rewire your mind. Make sure to visit lampoe.com for more articles like this.